let's dive into a simple but really powerful story about an emotion that, let's face it, we all feel, but very few of us have truly mastered: anger. And the secret to controlling it? Well, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Yep, you heard me right. Apologizing to a door. It sounds a little strange, maybe even a bit silly, but just stick with me here. This one peculiar idea is at the very heart of our story, and honestly, it just might change the way you think about a bad day.
All right, so let's picture this. It all starts with a moment that I'm sure we can all relate to. That moment when one tiny little frustration suddenly feels like the biggest deal in the entire world. So meet little Ryan. His day's already off to a pretty rough start. I mean, sure, it's just a toy, but in that moment, that missing toy is everything. And you can just feel that frustration building up inside him, ready to pop.
And there it is, the explosion. He shoves the door open, kicks off his shoes, and just lets it all out. You see, the anger isn't just about the toy anymore. It's spilled over and is now aimed at pretty much everything and everyone around him.
Now, while Ryan's little emotional storm is raging, someone is watching, very quietly. And what happens next is really the turning point of this whole story. It's a piece of advice that is truly unexpected.
His grandpa doesn't get angry back. He doesn't lecture him or tell him to calm down. He just sits, he observes, and then with this little calm smile, he offers a solution. And you can just feel the difference, right? Ryan's total chaos meeting his grandpa's complete calm.
And here it is, the advice that seems to come completely out of left field. Apologize to the door he just hit and the shoes he just kicked. I mean, you can just imagine the look on Ryan's face, right?
It absolutely does. Ryan is totally confused, and if we're being honest, so are we at this point. Why in the world would you apologize to an object? But his grandpa explains something pretty profound. If you can be angry at them, then you can also say sorry to them. And that's where the real lesson starts to unfold.
So what's the logic here? Well, what the grandpa explains next is really the core idea of this whole explainer. A simple but deep philosophy about how our emotions actually connect us to the world.
So here's the big idea. Our actions, especially the really emotional ones, they aren't just random outbursts. They are forms of connection. When Ryan slammed that door, he wasn't just letting off steam. He was actively forming a negative, angry bond with his environment.
And this just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? We have a choice. We can connect with the world through anger, with actions that hit and shout and hurt. Or we can choose the opposite path. We can connect through love, with actions that are kind, peaceful, and have a calming effect. So to really drive this point home, the grandpa uses this timeless, powerful metaphor that just perfectly captures the dynamic between these two opposing forces.
We've all heard this saying, right? It's a universal truth. Trying to fight anger with even more anger just makes the whole situation bigger, hotter, and way more destructive. It's literally like pouring gasoline on a flame. And there it is, the simple, elegant solution. You need something completely different to calm the fire. Not more of the same, but its total opposite.
This is where the analogy really clicks into place. Anger is the fire. It spreads, it gets out of control, it destroys things. But love, kindness, forgiveness, that's the water. It doesn't fight back, it soothes, it calms, and it actually helps heal the burn.
Okay, so how does this really powerful metaphor translate back into real life for Ryan and, for us? It all starts with one small conscious choice.
And this is the moment it all changes. By making that small, kind of silly-seeming apology, Ryan isn't just talking to a door. No, he's taking his very first step in choosing a different kind of connection. He's choosing water over fire.
So, what are the big lessons here? The story isn't saying you should never feel angry. That's not realistic. It's about recognizing that feeling and then consciously choosing how you're going to act. True strength isn't found in the outburst. It's in the calm, thoughtful response that follows.
In this last piece of wisdom from his grandpa, it takes this small personal lesson and makes it huge. This isn't just about one kid having one bad morning. It's a principle for life. The more that we, as individuals, choose love over anger, the more we can actually change the world around us.
And that leaves us with this final thought. In your own life, at work, at home, maybe just sitting in traffic, there are going to be fires. Little ones, big ones. The real question this story asks all of us is, are you going to add more fire, or are you going to be the water?